Well, I think we have some beautiful music for today. Welcome back. Freedom Tour 2023, episode 38. That's the first sip. That's the first sip. That's the first sip of coffee of the day. My God, is it beautiful. I'm tired. It's 6 in the morning. It's the job I do. It's how I get paid. So, by we, I mean me, did a lot of legwork last night. We're full into food. We're full food farming. The triple F. We are triple Fing. But, hour and 40. God, see, this is where it gets into trouble. Oh, I didn't get anything for Hydro Clash? Huh. That's strange. Let's see if we got anything from here. Ooh, I always like looking at that. Always like that. Would love a book. That's what I would really like, is a book. Books are so hard. Like, I am killing myself with trying to get books. So I did last night. I opened up some Ancient Shards. I knew I wasn't gonna get the double, but I needed to speed up food because I spent so much time trying to get those 2 epic books. I needed to like catch back up, and the easiest way to catch back up is to open up a few books so I have some 3-star food to start with. So I didn't get anything. I got 1 epic like missionary, so he might be food too. I've actually been pretty fortunate in my epics, I think. But but missionary's food. Like, the only good missionary is the position, not anything else. So, I watched. We visited J Gigs on Twitch. I've not been to Twitch in forever. I wasn't even logged in. I had to remember my password. I might get my token. I feel like. There we go. I don't know. Like, I didn't do anything. There, that's the perfect mic. Yeah, we checked out. He was playing some Red Dead Redemption 2. It was fun. He was becoming a veterinarian. He was playing online. He was playing like roleplay, not full roleplay server. Like, he wasn't like, I reckon it's time we got to fight. But like, they've got servers where they do jobs and stuff. He had to punch in. He had a job. He had a government job as a veterinarian. They take their crap seriously there. I also watched a video he did reacting to the video that Ash did about just the reaction people had, like, against the fact that he's like, Corpulent Cadaver needs to be nerfed. Look, my initial reaction was, yeah, it had to be nerfed. It was fun while it lasted. I think we all knew it was going to be nerfed. But I don't agree with the nerf, and it's only because you're trading voids, really. Corpulent Cadaver allowed people to get ridiculously high scores from a rare in Clan Wars. But it wasn't Corpulent Cadaver that activated it. It was him that who was the recipient. The reality is you needed a high-end extender, you needed 2 Yumekos, and you needed Brogni with gear. Watch Mullet Reaver. It's obscene level gear. The gear is... I can't do the gear. I can't even come close to what Victor and Mullet do for gear on Brogni to activate this kind of comp. It's obscene. Like, so to me, the haves versus the have-nots that's what Clash Wars is. That's what CVC is. So now instead of needing double Yumeko, you need double Acrizia. So that's the trade-off. Now you're going to use double Acrizia, and you're going to use a buff. I don't know how it works, but I assume you can do double Acrizia with the same sort of deal, where you grow the shields to keep them alive instead of to create the damage, and then you just let them tee off because they have the enemy max HP damage. So, I don't understand the purpose. Everyone was mad, but it's just, if you weren't able to compete because of the gosh darn Corpulent Cadavers, now you're not able to compete because of the gosh darn Acrisias. At least the difference I felt was at least everyone could have a chance at a small version. Like, you can do 500 million damage, getting Corpulent Cadaver, Brogni, and say you didn't have Lanicus, but you have a different extender, and you don't have double Yumeko, so you can't quite get that. But there were other versions that could get you 1 billion damage, 500 million damage, that sort of thing, which made it more widely accessible. The gear requirement on the Corp Cadaver comp was way higher. I don't know what the right answer is, but I know that the problem is, if they wanted to fix this, they should have fixed it a long time ago. Right? If they were serious about fixing it, they should have fixed it a long time ago, and they didn't. And they just let it continue to be an issue. And then when they did fix it, because they let it go on so long, people were pissed. Understandably so. That's how I feel. Can I get 3 wins out of this? I feel like I can't. I think we go here. $53 total, but that's really just him. The other 3 are probably empty. And here it's the Dwarf. And then here, I mean, well, maybe I bring this. Like, I don't know if he can do any damage. I did build. I don't. Who cares? I don't know why it matters. If I lose, I lose. Also, I had a lot of interesting thoughts. First of all, I watched YST do a interview with Hell Hades, and it was pretty good, and it was kind of what I was trying to do. If you guys had watched my collabs, I was trying to do a thing, and I don't know who the celebrity was, but a celebrity basically had a show where they would cook with another celebrity and they'd chat. So it was kind of, instead of it being just a standard interview, it was like they were cooking, having a little fun, but also they were doing an interview. And I really liked that idea. I really liked the premise behind that. And God, I'm gonna get my ass handed to me here. Get him! Whew, that was close. And that's what I was trying to do. And it just kind of reminded me that and part of this was talking about the mental health awareness behind content creators and kind of what we go through and how we feel, and there was a bit of that conversation. And I have a real love-hate with collabs. I get a bit anxious for them, believe it or not. Not debilitating fear type anxiety, but I get a little anxious because I always feel like I want to make their crowd happy, because I always feel like the people that I've mainly collabed with, they're all bigger than I am. They're all of a higher tier than I am in the raid community. I'm well known, but I'm not necessarily everyone's first choice for watching videos, which is fine. But when I do a collab, then I feel like I have to step up my game, and a lot of the times I'm put off. Like when I was doing my collabs, I was trying to reach out to kind of my top tier. Chosen, I didn't end up making one yet because we just couldn't. Like, he's such a busy dude, but like he was in it, and of course I wanted to do one with YST and Ash and Deadwood, and you saw the first kind of round of them, and it was fun and it was fine. And then I got a little put off by that first tier because I was gonna do a second round of it. I wanted to reach out to Odd One and Ivy. Ivy, I thought would be a fun one, talking about her perspective. I wanted to get her perspective on watching Raid while never playing it, right? Because she still watches Raid from Odd One. She still sees it peripherally, and she's playing these other games, and she's having some success, especially with Watcher of Realms. So I thought that would be a fun one. Odd One, of course. Odd One, I love the dude, and we haven't done a collab, and absolutely Nub, I wanted to reach out. That was kind of the second tier, but I kind of got put off, and I don't want to call. This isn't about calling anyone out, but I just want to be honest and open about it, because when you talk about what content creators go through, this is what I went through. I reached out to Darth, and he basically blew me off. He kind of, like, he didn't ignore me. We chatted, and he was like, well, what do you want? Like, what sort of collab do you want to do? And I was just like, I want to get your perspective as a player who's been around, who's got probably the biggest breadth of experience in other games. And you still were at the time he was still dabbling in Raid. This is when he had just first kind of exploded with the Asmongold collab, I guess you'd call it. And he started just going off on Diablo. Good for him. But I felt like he wasn't going to be he wasn't going to give me the time of day. And I reached out to Hell Hades, and so what I did when I had actually reached out to all these collab, I kind of given each of them a blurb as to what I wanted to do, how I wanted to, and why, and talking them up. And I accidentally copied half of Ash's when I sent Hell Hades his, so I looked like an asshole to him, and I'm sure he was like, well, I don't want to do a collab now, this is stupid. So we never did a collab. And then Ash and I did a collab, and right after that, some big news broke. I don't even remember what the news was, but something big in Raid happened that had to be covered by any channel that especially like daily content like Ash's. But he never ended up posting our collab. So here I am doing collabs, already feeling anxious that I'm not giving as much as I'm taking as far as the collab goes. And then Ash doesn't post his. Darth brushes me off. Hades basically brushes me off, though I think my fault. Full disclosure. 'Cause I felt like how do you back up being that much of an idiot? And then I was just like, well, I don't want this anxiety. Like, I don't want to feel bad reaching out to creators to do collabs, and so I stopped doing them. And then, of course, now, like, if I could have just brushed myself off and redone it, but then this whole thing happened where I was like, F Raid, I need to stop. I need to just play. I just need to play like this. I just need to have a chill, relaxed time. And now collabs seem silly, but it creates this. And the reason why I bring this up is because, watching YST interview, I was like, that's kind of what I wanted to do. And it kind of felt like I was turned away from some of the creators the biggest creators in the space, which kind of made me feel like I didn't have anything to offer, you know, as a content creator in the space, in a collab. And so it's not even just what other people say and the comments you get. Not, you know, you get comments all the time and you try to brush them off, but it's also stuff like that. It's also how you feel when you're trying to collab in the space and when you're trying to create content to build and grow. And now, like, even now, like, I'd be lying if I didn't say, you know, I look at the views I get now on this series and I think, what have I done? I've killed my channel. Mostly I'm happier, but, you know, as a content creator, there is that voice in the back of their head that's like, no, we want to have thousands of views. We want growth. We want upward momentum. And this is not upward momentum. So, you know, I guess I just want to iterate for anyone who's curious about it is the pressure, the anxiety, the need to appease, the effect that external sources, whether it's, I can't do this, can I? I don't have any. That's all real. All that's real. And I'm a pretty I'm a pretty self-assured guy. I'm and even I get affected by it, you know? So I just, you know, and that can be more than just this. It can be in any job. It can be in any world. Just know that we all go through this stuff. And it's funny that I think content creators probably are the most neurotic of them all. I think we're probably the worst of the bunch because we put ourselves out there to appease. And every person that we don't is a stark reminder that we're not good enough. And so then we play, well, then what do we got to do? And we start, you know, whether it's clout chasing or whether it's, you know, view chasing, whatever you want to call it. And it becomes a cycle of just sadness, you know, because you see this and you're like, ugh, what am I doing? And especially if this is your career. Like, I have a career, I make really good money, and this is my side hustle, and I enjoy this. This is what brings me happiness. And it's so crazy that, you know, sometimes what brings you happiness actually brings you more anxiety. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't stop doing this. I'm already trying to figure out how. I've got new equipment to do travel blogs. I've got an Insta360. I've got lapel mics. I bought an XLR mic to improve and continue to do this. I have a stand-up desk now, though these 6 a.m.s there's no way I'm standing up. I don't think I could. I think I would just fall over. I got 2 monitors on, you know, I spent a good chunk of cash this year to upgrade stuff, upgrade the setup. Thankfully, I have an accountant, and that accountant's going to make some of that worth it for taxes. But boy, there's a thing in the back of the head that says, geez, what if I do all this for nothing? If nobody watches or nobody, what if I can't get it off the ground? For every blog channel, travel vlog that I watch that's got, you know, to me, success would be 10,000 viewers. If I can get the same viewers that I get with this, probably would need more views because of the nature of travel vlogs, you know. So if I can get a couple thousand views on a travel vlog and get to 10,000 viewers, that's my success goal. I could sit there. There's a ton of them that are at 100 subs and 50 views. And I have to be okay with that. And I think Hal Hades said it in that interview, is like, you have to be okay with the grind. You have to be okay with the long term, because this doesn't happen overnight. And if you want, you could say, well, yeah, it happened overnight for Hell Hades, but it happened overnight in 6 months, right? He had a product. He had the, UK time is the best time zone to get everyone. He got a shout out from the company, which pushed his subs up, so it made him more visible in the YouTube algorithm. But he still had to put out daily content, and that content still had to be watched. And it still took months and months and months before the views started really exponentially growing. And I know I'm talking nothing about Raid, and I think probably part of what keeps that core group of you watching me every day is the same thing that keeps the other 5, 6, 1,000 people from not watching me, because they want to know Raid. They don't want to just watch this and me talk. But I think I have to do this because for those of you who are willing to sit here and watch me and just talk, that's what's going to get me. That's what's going to transition you to whatever the next thing I do is. Those who are here for just Raid won't be here for whatever I do next, because this channel is going to change one day. Whether the travel blog works or not, whether, and I suspect, because it's not like I'm going to stop traveling because it didn't work. I'm not traveling to create a blog. I'm creating a blog because I want to travel. Amanda and I want to travel. We're into that, right? So if they both work out, great. But if it doesn't, this channel will still be around. But at some point, this channel is going to change topics to another game. Hopefully a Fateless game that I hopefully can have some kind of insider information, and hopefully can get over that anxiety I have about doing collabs and it being worth it to the person I'm collabing with. That's the dream. That's the hope. And we'll see how that goes. And I think, to get to the point, I think that if I can create something that you guys are willing to watch this, where I'm not doing anything, then those are the people that are going to stay. They're going to follow. They're going to come with me when we do the next iteration of whatever it is we plan to do. So that's kind of a long-winded. I feel like I could have won this fight if I was paying attention. Maybe not. That boss is just teeing off on me. It's actually the poisons, I think, that are getting me. If I could get a little more resistance, I might be able to beat that one. I could probably just put some crap gear on him, but I don't really have crap gear. Just to keep him alive longer. Let's see if I can... You just couldn't leave him alone, could you? You just had to double tap him like a zombie movie. Let's do it. Work is... We have this store. I've never done so much work internally for a store that's irrelevant. There's a store opening. It's a satellite store. And what that means, it's a store that's actually being controlled by another store. Its sole purpose is to capture a market area. That's its sole purpose. And I've answered so many emails about this store and done so much for this store. And I feel like it's all who cares? Like, it's crazy how many emails and how many discussions about this store. It's opening 1 day a week to service a small community that happens to be close to the main store that they have. And I swear there's 100 emails about it. And I'm so over that store. I want it to go away, and I want them to go away. I want the store to blow up at this point. But I got another stupid thing about, oh, so yeah, no, I can't do this. I'd have to be faster. Yeah, okay, fine, kill me. I'd have to be faster, or I'd have to have higher resistance. I don't know if I can do resistance. I hate this, by the way, this big banner that then it blocks the main part of what you're trying to do. I loathe it, Plarium. Please change it. They won't. They won't change it. Yeah, the only way is to get like a resistance banner. I'm not gonna change it around just for this, so that's fine. We'll just run this twice. So anyway, I'm glad if you stuck around this far, I'm glad you did. I appreciate you letting me sound off on kind of everything that goes on in a creator's mind and sharing a little bit of the inside with you guys and how I feel and what goes on and the pressures and anxieties of this. And I'd never trade it for the world, and yet at the same time, it's tough. And like I said, this wasn't about me calling out creators. I'm just telling you that that's rough when you make a video with someone and it doesn't get put out. And yeah, there was a big it's funny, I can't even remember what it was, but I know it was something that absolutely you're like, yeah, well, you're gonna preempt a collab for that. But then I just assumed he would post it later and never did, and I was like, so then I feel like it wasn't good enough for him to post it later. So then what did I do wrong? You know, why was I so boring suddenly? And I think some creators I collab better with than others. Like, I think Deadwood and I, at any given time, he and I could get together on the mic and just have a good time and laugh and have fun. You know, easily. I think if we both lived in LA, we'd be friends. Like, I just get that vibe that he and I have this similar sense of humor and disposition, and maybe he's like, oh god, I hate that madcapper. But from my perspective, I love you, Deadwood. And you can't take that away from me. You can't take away my truth. I want to go back to 10 because I think that gives me the best chance to actually get some usable pieces here. Oh, this is not even the right... Well, let's see if this works. I didn't realize I took away all the actual champions here. Yeah, the problem with HP burn is it doesn't do enough damage on level 10. So this is not going to work. I love wasting energy. It's my favorite pastime. What else can I whine about? I will say I was really disappointed about not being able to collab with Darth because I've wanted to do it for a while. It had nothing to do with it didn't even sink in that this guy is a next level, right? He's getting thousands of people on his Twitch streams, and he's getting hundreds of thousands of views. That didn't even factor in for me. I just thought, you know what? He and I have been friends for a while in this as far as gaming goes, and I thought he would entertain it, and he didn't. And that really hurt. That really sucked. And not getting the video up that I collabed, that we actually recorded, also sucked. That didn't feel good. And I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but it doesn't change, like, whether it's intentional or not. So I don't know if, like, part of me, this is fun and this is good, do I want to get back into making raid videos is kind of what's the question that's been going on in my head. Do I want to commit to playing raid again outside of a free-to-play? Probably not. But I would like to find another game where I could put that level of effort into, which I, Raid no longer gets for me. Raid gets this. At some point but maybe I guess the thing is at some point this is going to get to a place where I talk about raid. Right now, I'm making food. I'm doing dailies. It's really hard to make raid content about that. At some point, I'm going to be where, hey, today we're going to look at this champion and how I use this champion in a free-to-play setting. And I think maybe that'll change. It'll bring fresh content to the channel. And of course, Fridays I'm still going to do I Built Them, because that kind of leans into the free-to-play shtick. Oh, no. Why did you have to heal, you filthy spider? Oh, and then, of course, we use... Oh. I just need, like, 10 epic books. This is where they get you. If I had 10 epic books or 15 epic books, that would do more for me than all the food and all the other garbage. That's what I need. I need the cooldown for Mordecai. I need the cooldown for Venomage in Clan Boss, and that would change a lot. This is dead. This is dead. It's dead. Stop it. I think he's got his cooldowns down, so that will probably be okay. We can take out Mordecai. I don't think Mordecai is needed. Although, probably we don't need Reliquary either. We're gonna stagnate. I think we can just bully our way through. So, in other news, is there news? God, I did 30 minutes and we didn't even see if there was news today. Of course there's news. Spectacular spot. I'm not doing it. This player I'm going to TwitchCon this year. No. They've cut back their spending. There's actually nothing new. Wow. Oh, there's an announcement. What's the announcement? Holy. Don't know how to celebrate Spooktober with your clan? We've got an idea. Buy shards. Oh, wait, no, that's not what it said. Put your artistic skills. I don't have artistic skills. I'm glad that they're so giving of. So the insignia, there's a Halloween insignia. Not only you don't have to set your design as the insignia, just capture screenshot. Your insignia must be thematically related to Halloween. You may post multiple entries but can receive the reward only once. You may post your entry on the that's too much work. Read it in the announcements if you want to make an insignia that looks spooky. I guess. I gotta do 3 of these, right? So that's about it. I got 3 food. So I got the 5-star chicken from one of the promo codes. I don't remember the name of the promo code. I'm sorry. Spooky 23 is the cheaper one, so we got a little food. We got a little thing of that. So I do have two 5 stars plus the 5-star chicken. So we need 2 more. We are going to 6-star somebody next. I don't know who. I think it's going to be Venomage to push our clan boss. If I can get brutal clan boss to 3 keys, it takes off a little bit of the pressure. Because I find if I delay doing a key, or like, how am I going to do a key when I'm supposed to be on the road? Those sort of things. But other than that, after that, we're just going to do more food. And we're going to get another 6-star. And then another one. But at some point, we're actually going to start building up gear and stuff like that. I don't know when that is, but it'll be sometime. This weekend will be fun. We'll have 2 Whopping Sacreds to open. For a supposed, hypothetically, a 2x on Sacreds. But that'll give us 2 epics either. We've been really good for epics. I think we've gotten only 1 dud epic, and I'm holding on to him, and I don't know why. He's food. Missionary is food. Bushi, Missionary, those guys are food. I'll show you. What do we have here? Let's take a look. Already finished the Forge, but why don't we get extra points for Forge Pass if we actually got past 50? They should just give us like the Magisteel or something. I think it's BS. So when you look at the epics I've collected so far, Stagnite, Mordecai, we used Deacon was a starter, like our starter champ basically. Venomage, Ayla, Ugo, Broadmob was pulled. Dargala, usable definitely. Golden Reaper I think is very underrated and very overlooked in the space. I'd love to use her. The reality is if I can't get more books, she's never going to be built. And then Bushi, it wasn't Missionary, it was Bushi I got. Bushi is definitely food. But also Haikatun, Steadfast, Gerhardt, okay, maybe a dud. Free Jamarsa, Fenchi very good. Armiger, or sorry, what's her name? Armina. Masamoto, I think he's usable. I'll probably use him when I start building on Faction Wars. And then I kept the freebie because Lizardman is hard. So Jizzo will probably be kept. Good old Jizzles. And then these are just, I kept her too because I might want to build her, but I don't know. And I kept a Soulbound Boyer because you never know. And I kept whatever his name is because I probably use him in whatever faction he's in. Which, believe it or not, is not Shadowkin. And the rest are just for fusion. So we got Frozen Banshee to work on next. So we're gonna, once we 6-star, I feel like right now we're gonna 6-star Veno, then Kyoku, then Deacon, then Frozen Banshee. And we'll probably slowly level her up to 5 so that I can replace Kale. So that because he is my only other nuker, I would like to get Kale into Savage and out of Lifesteal. And to do that, right, I need, and I'll probably, if that happens, I might even, well, I was going to say I might even take him out of accuracy and just go full damage. But the reality is I probably still need him for Dragon. So maybe we can't do that. But even at least if I can get him into a higher damage build, then it'll help us in Arena. And maybe in some of the dungeon waves. Depends. So anyway, that's thoughts. Thank you for watching. 40 minutes again. God, I keep wanting to get these to 30 minutes. One day I will. All right. Thanks for watching. Please be kind, be safe. We'll see you in the next video.